to us. I'd now like to turn the floor to Ms. Weiwei Nu, who has been working for the rights of the people of Myanmar, including the Rohingya people. At age 18, following the election of her father, she was arrested along with her parents and siblings, imprisoned with them. Since her release, she has worked tirelessly for human rights, founding multiple organisations centred around peace, youth and women, including the Women Peace Network, Arakan. Weiwei, over to you, please.
Thank you, Ambassador. It is an honor to join this side event during the 78 sessions of the General Assembly. Thank you, Special Rapporteur and all the organizers for this opportunity to share my experience as a women's human rights defenders and to highlight the situations of Myanmar, Burma. My name is Weiwei Nu. I am the Executive Director of Women's Peace Network, WPN. WPN is a civil society organization that protects human rights and work towards building sustainable peace in Myanmar by working alongside women, youth, and ethnic and religious minorities, and many other marginalized groups. WPN missions closely follows my own mission and resonate with my own experience as a Rohingya. I founded the organizations after my 7 years of imprisonment as a political prisoner in Myanmar. And my family, where I were arbitrarily arrested in part because of my father's democracy leaderships alongside Daw Aung San Suu Kyi in the 1990s. We were also targeted because of our identity as Rohingya, a mostly Muslim ethnic minority in Buddhist majority country. My people, the ethnic Rohingya, have for decades faced systematic persecution in Myanmar amid destroying our existence in the country. For over 3 decades, we face waves of state-sponsored violence in our ancestral home, Rakhine State. It reaches its peaks in 2017 when the Burmese military committed attacks amounting to genocide, according to the United Nations Independent Investigative Fact-Finding Missions on Myanmar and the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights and many other independent bodies. My work with the WPN on protecting human rights of these marginalized communities, effort to bring justice and accountability, leave me with no choice but to flee the country due to constant threat of life, intimidations, and attack by the military and Buddhist nationalist groups. So today, several years into my life in exile, I continue to face threat and intimidations online. These threats are also being directed to my family members, even those who aren't involved in activism as I am. To protect our physical safety, we have thus been forced to take precautions online, especially on Facebook, Zoom, and other communication platforms. This is an experience that many marginalized communities in Myanmar share. As a Special Rapporteur's groundbreaking report noted, the women's human rights defenders from the ethnic and religious minorities and other marginalized groups, including sexual and gender minorities, face many unique obstacles to our human rights activism in majority Buddhist and ethnic Myanmar, ethnic Burma, Myanmar. These obstacles include discriminations as a minority, sexism from our community, and atrocities from the Burmese military. It is important to remember that for decades, military has also committed atrocities amounting to crimes against humanity, war crimes against the group other than Rohingya, according to the UN bodies, as I mentioned earlier. These crimes include the use of rape as a weapon of war, and despite taking these atrocities themselves, my sisters from Karen, Kachin, Shan, Rakhine, Karenni, and other ethnic communities have long led the effort to document them. We have written reports, issued statements and letters, even lobbied at your offices and this building itself for several years to urge the international community to protect our women and our communities, to hold the Burmese military accountable for the international crimes, and to end impunity in Myanmar. Today, nearly 3 years since the Burmese military's attempted coup, we are still making the same demands. However, we are now not alone. We are joined by many other allies, even people from the Buddhist and Burmese majority, and even people who denied the 2017 genocide against Rohingya. The military's unjust and illegal actions and commissions of intensifying atrocities made the country's people into human rights defenders and women into women's human rights defenders. We are now united with a common enemy and a common goal, a federal democratic union that is truly inclusive and peaceful for all people of Myanmar. Women are standing at the forefront of this revolution. But as the report addresses, that also means my fellow women's human rights defenders are now facing common risks to their lives. In the country's growing areas of armed conflicts, women are at particular risks of military's use of rape as a weapon of war. In prisons, over 5,000 women have been arbitrarily detentions. WHRDs are targeted with torture, sexual, and gender-based violence. We saw this soon after the attempted coup when the junta even arbitrarily arrested women activists, students, lawyers, journalists, and healthcare workers. The risks also acutely affect the country's LGBTQI+ populations, who have long been discriminated against for their identity. Every second, day by day, the junta is intensifying its air and ground attack. Just yesterday, the junta airstrikes in Kachin State destroyed civilian objects and killed dozens of people, including 13 children. As a result of these, HRDs have been forced to flee their home. But living in exile does not guarantee safety. In countries where Myanmar women HRDs seeks refuge, full access to livelihood services, including shelter, work, healthcare, and education is denied. Without proper documentations, many of these women are in danger of being deported to Myanmar instead of finding asylum or resettlement to third country. In countries that have close tie to Burmese military, like Thailand, these women HRDs risks being physically monitored by the junta's intelligence. These harassments also manifest online, where Myanmar women HRDs are risks being doxxed by the junta's forces, pro-military supporters, and even some men in democracy movement on platform, including Telegram. In Bangladesh, where the conditions of nearly 1 million Rohingya refugees deteriorate by the second, outspoken women HRDs are now risks being kidnapped, tortured, trafficked, and raped by the militia group and other gangs, as well as harassment from other actors, including camp security. As Myanmar women HRD, as a Rohingya woman, I myself have faced years of doxing campaign until today on Facebook and other social media platforms. As the report addresses, the solution is clear. In the case of Myanmar, unless the Myanmar military is held accountable for their heinous international crimes, the women of Myanmar will remain at high risk of safety and security. Myanmar women are not actually alone. These multifaceted risks are faced by the women HRD across the world that is facing a growing threat of authoritarian rules. Our sisters in Afghanistan and Iran, speaking for women, life, and freedom, are facing acts described as gender apartheid. In Thailand, in Cambodia, young university students, women human rights defenders are being arrested and detained for calling for genuine democracy. In Vietnam, a prominent climate activist, my friend Hong Thi Minh Hong, is facing false charges for tax evasions and even denied access to her lawyer. It is imperative that the international community works for the freedom of women HRDs today and beyond these GA sessions. Unless we address the root causes of these challenges, violence and attack against the women HRDs, we're not able to achieve our goal of increasing women participations in peace processes and political solutions. We need your moral, political, technical, and financial support. We hope that the work of more and more women HRDs will be recognized and their important work will be comprehensively supported. Thank you very much again.